Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 2 days ago, Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee voted to take away an American citizen's Second Amendment right. You voted to do that even though that citizen had committed no crime, and you voted to allow their rights to be taken in a court proceeding that citizen doesn't even get to show up to defend themselves. Now today, you're changing the rules to make it easier for you to pursue impeachment of the President of the United States, changing the rules 9 months into the new Congress. First, you vote to take away Americans' firearms. Then you vote to impeach the guy they elected president, all in 1 week. Actually, all in less than 48 hours in the House Judiciary Committee, the committee that's supposed to protect the rules, supposed to protect constitutional rights. All in less than 48 hours, you're doing it. And why are you changing the rules? Why are you changing the rules? The gentlelady from Arizona was right, because nothing else has worked for you. The Michael Cohen hearing was a flop. The John Dean hearing was a flop. And everyone in the country knows the Bob Mueller hearing, they saw it. That was a flop. So let's change the rules in the middle of the game because we got to find something. We're out to get this. We got to find something. Never forget how this whole thing started. Never forget how this whole thing started. A false accusation about the President of the United States, saying the president coordinated with a foreign country to influence the election. Jim Comey investigated that for 10 months. Guess what? He found nothing. And we know he found nothing because we deposed him, and he told us after 10 months they didn't have a thing. But that didn't stop it. 22 months later, Bob Mueller does a special counsel investigation. He investigates it for 22 months, and what does he tell us? Other members have already said this. He found nothing. No coordination between the Trump campaign and Russia to impact the election. 32 months of investigations, they find nothing. But what do Democrats want to do? What do they want to do now? Change the rules, keep investigating, because we got to find something so we can impeach this president. Maybe the country would be better served. Maybe the constituents we represent would be better served if we actually figured out how the false accusation happened. And the good news is, as I've said before in this committee, the good news is that's exactly what the Attorney General of the United States is doing. And thank God for Bill Barr. That's exactly what he's doing. But you know what? We could do the same thing. We could do the same thing. And a great place to start is right where Mr. Shabbat just said. Why don't we start with the Inspector General, not just any Inspector General, the Inspector General for the Justice Department, which we have jurisdiction over, just issued a report 2 weeks ago, scathing report on the guy who's most responsible for this 3-year saga that our country has had to live through, Jim Comey. Jim Comey, the guy who opened the investigation in July of 2016. Jim Comey, the guy who allowed Peter Strzok to run that investigation after that guy had ran the Clinton investigation, after that guy had said to Lisa Page, another FBI employee, "Don't worry, Lisa, we'll stop Trump." Jim Comey, the guy who allowed the dossier to go to the secret court to be used to spy on a fellow American associated with the Trump campaign. Jim Comey, who leaked information to the New York Times through his friends so we would get the special counsel. Jim Comey, the guy who on January 6th goes to Trump Tower trying to trap the president while he's telling the president he's not under investigation. Scathing report by the Inspector General on that guy. And when I asked the chairman 2 days ago when he was busy taking away people's Second Amendment rights, when I asked him two days ago when we might have a chance to question the Inspector General, his response, the chairman of the Judiciary's response was, "I don't know, we haven't thought about that." That is scary. That is scary when you have the Inspector General issue that kind of report and the chairman of the Judiciary Committee doesn't even know a thing about it, hasn't even thought about when we're going to bring him in so we can talk to him. This is the Judiciary Committee, for goodness sake, and think about what has happened in 48 hours in this committee. This is scary. And everyone in the country knows, and everyone who said this earlier, they know that there aren't the votes to do this. There aren't the votes to do this right, so you're playing this game in the Judiciary Committee, of all places. Maybe if you were a little less focused on taking people's Second Amendment rights and impeaching the guy they made president, we could actually do what this committee is supposed to do. I yield back.
Gentleman from Virginia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Move to strike the last word. Mr. Chairman, I
support the Buck Amendment. When I was in the Virginia legislature, we had a process of killing bills in